a game of human chess in St. Petersburg, Russia, around 1924. It's a pushball game at Central Stadium in Washington around 1923. The gas torpedo from 1951. Women and children are scavenging for coal from slag heaps near closed mines during the coal strike. The year is 1900. There were some Victorians and they were pulling a face. In memory of Erin O'Keefe, who was eaten by mountain rats. Immigrants are arriving at Ellis Island, capturing the hope and determination of those seeking a new life in America. 1904. A boy is standing next to his riding boar around the 1930s. Best friends. They are in a very happy photo. Two girls are in the photo. One girl is standing, the other girl is sitting. They're hugging, they are both smiling. One is a blonde, the other has dark hair. They are wearing summer clothes. RMS Mauritania, 1909. The first rocket from Cape Canaveral, 1950s. German or kindred blood, mixed blood of the first degree, mixed blood of the second degree, and non-Aryan. The second category was marriage. Marriages were examined to see if they were between a German and a Jew, a mixed marriage, or a marriage between non-Aryans. Soldiers of the 89th Infantry Division of the 3rd US Army crossed the Rhine River on an amphibious UKW 353 in the Oberwiesel area, 1944. There's a picture of a girl with a Utrechtse crop, which is a goiter. It was a thyroid condition, and pretty common in the Dutch city of Utrecht during the 19th century. The local drinking water didn't have enough iodine then. Led Zeppelin stands in front of the Starship in 1973. Chicago, 1939. Leather Friends, 16th of June 1930. G.W. Walker on number 5 and H.G. Tyndall at the Isle of Man motorcycling race. Women are transporting and delivering ice cubes, taking on essential labour roles during World War I in 1918. Highly decorated Sergeant Alvin York is returning home to Mum, Tennessee in 1919. A civil rights march in Washington was organized to fight racial discrimination in the United States in 1963. London Nomads, 1877. The aerocycle was intended for beginners, with an alternative design. They thought it would be possible to steer it simply by shifting your weight in the 1950s. Shirley MacLaine with her daughter Saatchi, 1959. Don't mess with Granny, it says. The poster shows an elderly woman with a stern look on her face standing in front of what looks like a simple house. Her arms are crossed. The house has a small porch. There's a window to the side. The whole thing looks quaint. The first ever photograph of an operation was taken in 1847 in Boston. Smoosh, 1937. This is a description of people watching an eclipse in 1912. A group of people are outdoors, some are looking upwards. They seem to be wearing glasses. An artist is using paintbrushes and airbrushes to recreate the lunar surface. This was in Langley during the 1960s. Before CGI, MGM filmed its iconic movie intro by using a real lion, capturing the dramatic roar that became synonymous with the studio. Travelling hairdresser Stop Me. The entrepreneurial spirit was alive and well in the 1920s as this enterprising young lady demonstrates with her travelling hairdresser business. An employee of the Atomic Energy Commission is dozing while waiting for a nuclear bomb to explode in Mississippi, 1964. A chimney sweeper leaves an unwanted mark on a young lady, London, 1971. The image was taken in 1892 in New York. It's of Bill Smith. He wasn't a rich man, a philanthropist, or a playboy like the fictional characters in comics and movies. He worked in a butcher shop. So, college guys around 1910. Seems like a group of 4 young men are posing. 2 are standing and the other 2 are sitting. They're all wearing suits and ties. The guys have hats and they're all looking at the camera. One guy has a moustache. Police, firemen, reporters, and the curious gather at the entrance to the Coconut Grove nightclub in Boston on November 29, 1942. Brazilian Emperor Pedro II in front of the Great Sphinx of Giza in 1871. May 31st to June 1st, 1921. The Tulsa Massacre happened on Black Wall Street. At the time, it was the wealthiest black community in the US. Black businesses that did so well on Greenwood Avenue were attacked and destroyed by an angry mob. American troops are treating a wounded dog on Oret Peninsula, 1944. Alright, so we're talking about a society of toy train lovers. This was in Berlin, Germany, back in 1931. Jacqueline Kennedy watches her husband from backstage as he takes on Richard Nixon in their first televised debate in 1960. Secret Service agents walk on either side of President Theodore Roosevelt's carriage during his inauguration on March 4, 1905. Alright, so we're looking at Ford factory workers on a bearing assembly line, and this is in Chicago, 1924. Freddie Ford, a mechanical robot that answers questions, in the 1960s. New York City construction workers. These men were working hard. There were 3 men, and they were all wearing hats and coveralls. The building was being built out of brick. Marlon Brando and Al Pacino on the set of The Godfather in 1972. The mask worn by Edward Paisnell, the notorious Beast of Jersey when attacking his victims around 1957. Robert Wadlow, the tallest man to ever live, is with his family around the 1930s. Actors who were to portray the Munchkins in The Wizard of Oz arriving at MGM Studios in 1938. A Shoe by Perugia at the Place du Trocadero in Paris, August 1948. The Superbus was in Helsinki, 1927. Benito Mussolini's mugshot, 1903. Baseball fans are lining up for World Series tickets in the 1920s. In 1859, you could delete friends, but it wasn't like a button on a screen. Instead, if you were a subscriber to a newspaper, and someone you knew was no longer welcome in your circle, you'd pay for a notice. The newspaper would then print a little announcement saying that you were no longer associated with this person. Pretty harsh, right? Carrots on a Stick, 1941. The royals are in a carriage at a Trooping of the Colour ceremony at St James's Palace, London, on the 5th of June, 1933. The city's all lit up behind them, and a couple is trying to stay warm, sharing a cigarette under a glowing street lamp in Central Park in 1957. People sit on a curb amidst confetti and papers after celebrating the end of World War II in New York City on August 14, 1945. Cleaning Women, 1855. An ex-campus writer hits the big time. Here's a picture of Stephen King from 1975. Soldiers are carrying off the tail of a Messerschmitt 110. It was shot down by fighter planes in Essex, England on September 3, 1940. Dumont engineer James A. Craig demonstrates a simple dialing procedure on a completely automatic dial-direct mobile two-way radio telephone system in Clifton, New Jersey, on March 28, 1957. Charlie Chaplin is holding a doll of himself, circa 1918. Charlie Chaplin and Mahatma Gandhi, 1931. Alright, here we go. Inside the Electrolux factory, the 1930s. Men are busy at work. A man is welding. Another man is working on the refrigerator's door. Another worker is putting the refrigerator together. There's a lot of work going on. A man is catching a shark. He's standing on a boat. He is using a fishing pole. The shark is large. The shark is in the water. The man is wearing a hat. American prisoners are using improvised litters to carry their comrades. These men fell along the road due to a lack of food or water on the march from Bataan. This happened in the Philippines in May 1942. Craniofacial injury. There's a French soldier with a wounded forehead before plastic surgery. The photograph was taken in 1915. A crash in Boston, 1930. Dug-on-stilt dancers in Bandiagara, Mali in the 70s. George Harrison with his cat. He's sitting with the cat on his lap. The cat is black and white. George is wearing a dark shirt. The future Queen had a confident stride even in her youth. She's walking in London in May of 1932. Workers wearing uniforms and special gear to help them to avoid catching the plague. This is a photograph of Royal Air Force men with their pet rabbits, around 1918. A man with moustaches. Margaret Ann Neve, an American woman who passed away in 1902 after reaching the age of 110. This woman was born in 1792, which means she lived in 3 centuries. That's an amazing 36-seat bus that was built specifically for the film Stolen Harmony from 1935. Charlie Chaplin, wearing his iconic bowler hat and suit, is there, along with Stan Laurel and Roland Tothero. They all look like they're in a discussion on a movie set with some filming equipment around. 2 women are at the beach, making fun of a sign. The sign says full bathing suits are required. The location is Miami, Florida, in 1934. People are protesting against integrating Little Rock, Arkansas Central High School. The year was 1959. Florence Thompson, the migrant mother in Dorothea Lange's famous 1936 photo, holds up her likeness during an interview after her identity was made known, October 10, 1978. There's a man wearing an external battery-operated heart pacemaker. It's New York, 1960. Imagine the Netherlands, 1963. Long before Google Maps, you know? Ornithopter. While many people might imagine what it's like to fly like a bird, engineer Alan Stewart took things a step further with his ornithopter, a human flight machine designed to flap its wings like a bird, in 1963. Racers are lining up at the starting point in Times Square for the New York-Paris race, 1908. In 1949, the bedridden French artist Matisse used his apartment in the Hôtel Regina in Cimiez to prepare designs for the Chapel of Rosary in Vence, which was of similar size. Cats Blackie and Brownie are catching squirts of milk during milking at Archbedrich's dairy farm in Fresno, California, in 1954. Elizabeth L. Gardner of Rockford, Illinois, a WASP, a Women's Air Force Service pilot around the 1940s. In 1892, a hot potato vendor is selling his wares on the busy streets of Manhattan. He's offering a popular and simple snack to New Yorkers. A former Jackson, Mississippi policeman viciously kicks an African-American student from nearby Wiggins, who had been waiting along with two other students to be served at a segregated lunch counter. This happened on May 28, 1963. Yasutaro Mitsui is here with his steel humanoid robot. This is in Tokyo, Japan in 1932. Sister Mary Kenneth Keller, who in 1965 was the first woman to earn a doctorate in computer science in the United States. In 1966, Colonel Harlan Sanders, the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, or KFC, opened a new restaurant near Fort Campbell in Nashville. People are competing in an ostrich race demonstrating an unusual and fun sport. 1929. Workers are assembling cameras at the Rolleiflex factory in Germany. Walter Sanders took the photo reflecting post-war industrial efforts. The year was 1949. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz are rehearsing a scene for the very first episode of I Love Lucy that they would film. Pasquale Pignon, a man with two heads. The second head could move its lips. Sometimes the head smiled with a beautifully outlined mouth with a row of small snow-white teeth. A woman is suffering from mania. You can see her forearm, hand and finger movements. This was at Friern Hospital, London, in the 1900s. During a boat trip taken in 1957, British actress Joan Collins carefully carried and caressed this super cute kitty. Jacques Biederer, the first photographer to really specialise in erotic pictures, he's captured this intimate and artistic scene in his Paris studio. It was Paris, 1928. Manhattan in 1931.